Today I'm going to show you how to build a town just like this. I'm going to go from planning to building to detailing and show you how I did all of it so you can build a town like this in your own worlds. But make sure you do hit that subscribe button to catch all of my videos, and let's get straight into it. One of the first things you should do when you start a new Minecraft build is definitely plan it out. But you can see I've actually almost finished the walls for my build, but I will show you how I planned these out. So I basically went around with an outline like this. So this is going to be a gatehouse similar to this or one of these, and that's how I planned it out. But I am going to do a plan for all the buildings in the middle, so I'll show you how that works. Alright, to start off with, first thing you want to go and do is get some concrete of any colour. You can just do this in any other block, but let's do it in concrete. I've got green here for the roads and the pathways, and I started by laying out a road from the main gate. Then I made a sort of circle area in the middle. This is going to be where there's going to be a marker or a centrepiece of the build, and you can see it from each of the four corners. And then I just connected the roads to each of the gateways. That's a pretty important thing to do, to lay out your road structures, because that's going to be one of the main things that decides where your builds are going to go. Right, next I sort of planned out an area. I'm going to do this with blue concrete for all the houses. These are going to be like back-to-back houses, so they all touch each other pretty much. And there's going to be some alleyways through to an area in the middle. So I built up a few shapes to this house. I don't like the shape too much, but I'm going to change it slightly later on. So yeah, we've got a couple places for alleyways here, and a house on the end. And then you head through, and then there's a circle here where there's going to be some sort of trading outpost, something where people can trade their goods and sort of thing back behind those houses. And then we plan on another one with yellow concrete here. I use a diagonal house because I think these are very good to sort of help your pathway flow through your build nicely. So that looks good like that. I've got three diagonals there, and then another house. This is an interesting shape, this one. But I don't know how I'm going to build that one just yet, but it's got an alleyway through here, so we can have another area behind there. I'm not sure exactly what's going to go there, but at this point I'm just laying out rough plans, and that's what you need to do. You just need to come up with a shape that you can use to do that. Right, now I'm going to start working on some structures. I bring up some wooden poles and sort of complete the shape, then I fill in it with stone. Now then I'm going to bring in some texture variation, which is quite a complicated thing to do, but all you do is just mix in blocks that look good in your palette, and that's something you do need to decide before you start building. So what blocks are going to mix into other blocks to make them look interesting. So here I mix in andesite and cobblestone and some stone brick to the main block stone. And then I come through to this house. This is an interesting shaped one, so I had a bit of trouble figuring out where I wanted things to go, but I've decided now to put a little porchway in the front, which is going to make it look much more interesting than the other houses, I think, because they do look a bit all the same if you put them all next to each other. And then I go in and fill all of the stone together, and I put in some more texture variation as I go, and that's basically how you do it. That's all you have to do. You just have to keep varying the textures, keep building interesting shapes, and changing it up as you go. You don't have to stick to your structure completely. You see I changed it quite a lot. Like I moved this one diagonal because I think it will look better, and then that gives me more space to put paths through there and make a more natural shape. So that looks nice. And then we got an alleyway there. I sort of changed this. It's going to go closer to each other because I need room to build the house in front of the gateway. Now you can put in, and I put in some stone there, texture variation, all of that stuff, and I bring out this shape here so I can build a sort of roof over that with some slabs. And then I'm going to move up to building the roofs, the upper floor area. Now I decided on some calcite because we wanted a sort of Tudor vibe coming through the in the palette. So it's going to be a white block filling these structures in, but I've just built up cages of wood around where the block's going to go, and these are going to change probably a few times as I fill it in, make it look good. But they sort of pop out one block from the thing to give it more depth, and then I put stairs under there to make sure it looks supported enough, so that it gives it a good amount of depth by doing that, and the diagonal helps with that as well. The depth is very important to make your build look good and make it not all look the same. So yeah, I come in with the calcite, fill it all in where the bottom wood blocks are, and then that makes sense. I also popped up all the blocks a bit more because I thought it looked a bit short on one side, but then I sort of made a separator there by bringing the block up one. I fill in all the calcite to get it all looking good, and it's all filled in and I've got some good depth. Now this looks quite bland, and I did leave most of this like this, but I will decorate it all later eventually. I built in a little slab area at the roof and decorated with some cobblestone. That's sort of the first roof I made, and then I'm going to head up here, and I think I'm going to do the rest of the roof. So For this is going to be very difficult because it's a weird shape, but I'm just going to go for some stairs around the place and sort of see what happens. That's how you have to do roofs. It's very difficult to get in actual good roofs for each house unless you build them separately. So I put in a thing here so that you can do this. You stair up to the middle, and then you put a little divider there, and that looks quite good. There's a little pop out, makes it look interesting. And then you just bring the stairs all the way around. And now I chose deep slate as another roof block because I've used it for the towers, and I think it looks nice just as a roof contrasting with cobblestone. And we come through and connect to the main building a little bit and put some spruce in for the other stairs to make it look different from this one. And you're making a little divider with cobblestone between them to make it sort of flow nicely. You come through with the stairs just going diagonally and changing as the build changes. And I didn't actually go all the way up with the stairs because I haven't finished the roof yet, but I think I'll just slab most of it over because it's not really going to be a view from above much. You're going to be walking through the streets. That's sort of how I was viewing this. I made another separator there, so there's going to be probably spruce again on that bit. And when you come to a bit that's just a bit difficult, you can put in slabs just like that, and that's a nice and easy way to do it. Right, now I'm going to come through and do some details. I've got some leaves and some cobblestone here. I'm going to build up a doorway, and this is probably the part that takes the longest time because it's detailing. It's quite a lot of complicated blocks and stuff to fiddle around with. But main things you need are windows, leaves, and doorways. They're always a good way to do it, and also moss blocks on the ground is a good way to introduce variation to that sort of thing. I built up a windowsill and put a lantern on there. I don't think this looks very good, so I put in a slab to change the height a little bit. And you need a lot of detail blocks like lanterns and things like that to help you. And I've grown some moss to sort of make the terrain look nicer. That's a really easy way to just make any terrain look better, just by putting some moss in like that. You have to make sure your moss doesn't take your stone though, but put some more leaves in because the leaves sort of make it look more natural and it fits with the pathway and all that stuff, so you can wind a path through it, and I'll show you what that looks like at the end. But yeah, I've got a lot of moss going through here, and now I need to sort of patch this up and fix it all up. Put the stone back in so it looks nice and texture variated, all like that. And then we come over to the slab bit again. I'm going to put in some windows, I think, here. So the way you want to do this is just I like this shape. It's just a 3x2. That's quite simple, and you put in some trapdoors or anything interesting on the bottom, really, as a windowsill. You could also make shutters on the sides to make it look nice on the windowsill. But then I come up and sort of work on the top bit. So I'm brought up the window, the pole from the wooden thing, going up the middle, and then the calcite in the back, just like consistent with the rest of it. Then I have to fix up the roof slightly, it's just to make it all look perfect. You got to maximize the details all in here, make sure it all looks perfect. Next, I went ahead and put in some pathways through here. This makes the space look so much better already, and with all the decorations we put in that time lapse, you can see this place looks really awesome. And we've also put in some more stuff over here. This is going to be a pub of some sort. I didn't actually build this, someone else built this, but I think it looks really cool. You've got a nice sort of garden area here, a kitchen, and a big pub area that's going to take up most of this sort of quadrant. And then we're planning more stuff over here, and obviously we planned this one as well. So those are going to get built in sort of similar to this one, and that should make the whole town complete. And we've got the area in the middle that I can work with. I'm currently just using it as a storage area, but I can show you. I'll probably do another video when I finish this town, because it is a big project making a town like this, so it does take a long time. But I think this looks really cool, especially this end. Once I finish this gatehouse, this place is going to look really cool with all of this stuff in place. And I've got some leaves and just a bit more detail work to do on all these houses, and then the place is done. This quadrant is done, and also obviously the interiors are going to come at some point, and also this area. I think I'm only going to do interiors if there's actually a need for the building, but yeah, that's basically how you save time on projects, by not doing the back and the interior. It's quite a good way to make things look good without actually doing too much work. But there you go, this is how you build a town, and make sure you do hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. It's really useful if you do, because it helps my channel reach more people. But yeah, this is the town so far, and I'll give you another progress update once we're done. But yeah, that's going to do it today. So I hope you enjoyed, and hope you know how to build a town now. So goodbye.